Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 572 Geeks in Space. I am Rob Commander Taco Malda, and I am joined today by two of the greatest geeks. We got Chris DeBona.
Hey.
Rob Roseboom.
Hello.
Everybody's doing fantastic today. We're all recovered from RoboCop.
Everything's fine.
Yep.
This is good. Everything's super.
It's true. Everything's great. Let's talk about kind of the obvious stuff, because I have a feeling if we go too deep on Gamestop, we might stay there for the rest of the call.
Wow.
So Pearl.com taken over by domain squatters.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that first.
Yeah.
Here we go. Bam. Okay. Yeah, this is unfortunate. I liked good old Pearl.com, you know, back in the day. And now it is indeed squattered.
I've actually been thinking a lot lately about like really old websites, because there was on Hacker News today, there was a link to where somebody had like a tamale making machine. Hey, look at that. You're viewing the source.
Because there was nothing in the screen. So,
But there was a tamale maker website that was like from 1995 or something, 1984. And I know like the Space Jam website is like famously unaltered since the original launch of the movie Space Jam, which I assume they will change when the new Space Jam is released. But I kind of wonder what the oldest unaltered website actually is.
that's a good question. I
Right?
mean, do you think the old CERN page is still there?
I mean,
You know?
I bet that it still is there, but I guarantee you that something like that has been modified over the years.
Look at this tamale maker. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
For
I'm
sure.
into it.
Yeah.
Although I couldn't tell you that I'd never visited this before today, so maybe it was. So let's view source.
Is it going to be the kind of HTML that I can read?
Yes.
Because I hate
It's saying content Mozilla 477 Win98 Netscape, so that's pretty old.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, this is very readable.
Remember when HTML was readable? That was the good old days.
Yeah, it was. You ain't kidding, man.
It's
you
true.
ain't kidding.
We old men now. We can bitch
True
about
dat.
dumb
dat.
stuff. Did you see the Neil Gaiman casting?
I'm very excited by this. I think Boyd as the Corinthian is going to be fantastic.
What has he been in? I recognize his face. I couldn't.
He's been in a lot of crap, honestly. He was like in the new Predator, and he was in like a bunch of other things. But man, that guy has got style.
All right.
You know, he's perfect. I mean, this is a perfect choice for the Corinthian.
The Morpheus is basically somebody who's been in like 100 things that you don't remember. But in the photo, he sure looks good.
Which one's Morpheus?
Tom Sturridge.
I have no idea.
I went through his entire IMDb, and like, there's nothing in there that I care about.
He's a good-looking, skinny British person
for sure, and he's got the floppy hair.
And he has to be floppy, and he has to be sort of like, I am melancholy, you know, to be dream, you know.
Yeah,
Right. And he has a passing resemblance to the character already. So.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And a passing.
It's great having Charles Dance on.
Well, you should just have that guy in everything.
Right?
But Gwendolyn Christie was the only really big name, I thought, in that. There's a lot of people that you've seen and stuff, but Gwendolyn Christie she's like relatively well known from Game of Thrones, I suppose.
Yeah, Game of Thrones. Not as Phasma.
No.
Sure.
Have they talked about what story they're going to tell?
Season 1. They're doing the volume 1.
Yeah, they're doing season of Mists. What was the name of the first?
The first book, the one that they just did the Audible one on, and the obviously missing casting is Death, and they did Kat Dennings had her voice in the Audible, and she was fine, but she's probably like maybe 10 or 15 years too old for the part on TV. I don't know, but I always thought of Death as being like a teenager.
Yeah, well, I mean that's what she was based on. Right? So.
We know. Go ahead, tell the story.
Nah, it's okay. I don't need to bore y'all again with the tales of my misspent youth, you know, opposite these people. But yeah,
that's right. Your close personal connection to the Sandman.
She
universe.
died. She had cancer.
Yeah.
You know, so Cinnamon died, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
But no, that's the one that I'm really interested in. I'm also really interested in how they might like reshape some of these roles to make them a little bit more TV. Like they gender swapped Lucifer. But I wonder, like, because like Death is the good example, right? Death is the number 2 character in Sandman, as far as I'm concerned. And like I would like to see that character, leaned on a little more heavily. But then again, maybe you can't do that because you do it too much and it gets dumb. But
I always liked the role of Delirium.
For sure.
In Sandman, I thought that was really well done. The thing I hope they skip actually is the old DC Sandman stuff they had to put in the comics.
Yeah, the first. So I just got through the Audible, and that's all there. And it's interesting. I had really forgotten. Like, I mean, it's not much, but like he goes to Arkham and stuff. Like it's sort of the sort of stuff that doesn't happen. Another dozen issues down the line. I mean, I guess it really depends. And I bet DC probably will have influence on that. Like, how hard do they want this Netflix production to lean into DC branding? Because they probably protect that pretty well. And I don't know.
I think that they're probably like, you just keep it completely separate and that'll be fine, right? Because they probably watch The American Gods and they're like, oh, this doesn't match with Aquaman.
Yeah. But Kristen Chenoweth, she's so great.
I mean, if they do, my favorite stories were the end at the end of the world where everyone is gathering and swapping stories. Those are my favorite episode or issues of Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if they eventually do those, it would behoove them not to try to bring in any DC stuff with it, right? Because it is its own thing.
Yeah.
And this is a lot of the stuff that you read about too when you're talking about the MCU, like the personifications of like life and death and all of that stuff like that. Those are characters that exist in both the Marvel universe and the DC universes in the comic book versions, and those are really hard. Those are really hard to do TV shows that have those characters in. They're imbalanced. So if you keep that stuff isolated into the Sandman, then you can do whatever the hell you want. Rob, did you want to talk about the Godzilla trailer? I don't think we did that yet.
Well, we have 2 trailers actually.
We have a lot.
Got the wacky Japanese sci-fi fun one.
Space Sweepers.
Space Sweepers. I'm really looking forward to this.
It looks cute.
I mean, look at this. Look at this. This is amazing. I shut off the sound because it was like, meow, But I mean, look at this. You have cool spaceships. You have very.
Was it Korean or Japanese? I didn't.
I don't know. It looks Korean, right? Because that's Korean there.
Is it? Yeah. I watched it quickly, and it was subtitled, so I didn't know the difference, and I actually watched it muted because my children are around. But
it's got everything. It's got a quirky kid sort of subplot, and it's very fun.
But it doesn't have Godzilla shooting mouth lasers at anything.
Yeah, I don't remember Godzilla having a mouth laser.
Shooting mouth lasers.
It looked like
He's breathing fire.
Oh.
That's the way his fire looks.
Okay.
Or what I think is really happening is that is actually Mecha Godzilla, because in the originals, Mecha Godzilla is covered with a Godzilla-like cover casing. So I think that might be Mecha Godzilla. In that case, he would be shooting a laser.
Oh, yeah.
And it just so happens that that axe that he has made out of Godzilla's spike absorbs the power of the laser for whatever reason.
Well, so that would make perfect sense too, because it would explain why Godzilla is a bad guy in the beginning of the trailer. It's not really Godzilla, it's Mecha Godzilla, and then real Godzilla comes back, he high fives with Kong, and they go to town on Mecha Godzilla.
Right.
And that would be perfect.
That's the part when Godzilla like stands up and says that it's time for all the monsters to assemble, and then he catches Godzilla's axe. And then Mothra shows up.
Or when Mechagodzilla knocks him down and you think he's out, but Godzilla raises one hand in this sort of thing, and then I'm a Real American plays in the background, and he stands up and starts whooping Mechagodzilla's ass.
Yeah, and his little rubber suit's shimmying to the beat of the music while he's kicking his butt.
And then King Kong comes off the top turnbuckle and gives him the people's elbow. And,
they're smashing.
So maybe my Godzilla versus King Kong would be different, but
yeah.
But I'm not sure that you're not. Honestly, we should be saying spoiler warning. I think we're calling it. I think it's Mechagodzilla, and this is the real Godzilla here, and he's like super special. Yeah. So, yeah, I think this is spoilers. We predicted this movie.
Yep, we got it.
So I did watch this trailer a lot.
So this is kind of like your WandaVision. You watch, or Tenet. This is like what you watch, to have hope.
I loved it, but I would never argue that it's good. I would say I enjoy it.
I'm sorry. Look at this Godzilla. I think they did a great job on this Godzilla. I think he's lovely. I think he's perfect. And I actually love their rendition of Kong. I don't care that he seems to change sizes. Don't care at all.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. I just want to see Kong and Godzilla go to town on Mechagodzilla, man. And if you can throw in a spinning turtle, man, you've got me.
He's eating his Wheaties, man.
Again, Gamera is not part of the Godzilla universe.
It's very disappointing to me. But that's true.
It just seems like with some strategic acquisitions, I mean, Marvel was able to eventually reclaim the rights to the X-Men. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible, right? We can have Magneto and.
But no, I was reading that evidently they're going to throw in a bunch more Titans backstory. So including some like myths right now, like Mokele Emembe, which is supposed to be a living remnant of Brontosaurus from the Congo, that he makes an appearance in this movie and all that sort of stuff. So they're using the real life myths.
When you think about all the bad things that are going on in the world, at least we've got Godzilla.
Yeah, it's true.
At least we have Godzilla and Kong. It's a source of joy in an otherwise dark place.
We deserve it. I really liked the King Kong movie with was it John C. Reilly was in it. I liked that movie a lot. I thought that was just a good movie.
It wasn't, but I watched
for a popcorn crunchy movie. I liked it.
It wasn't even good at that, but honestly, I loved it. I loved it to bits. But let's not.
I thought it was a totally fine, fun movie. I thought the Godzilla movie was hard to watch.
The one on Hawaii?
The most recent one that had
San Francisco one?
Was it in San Francisco? It didn't have Breaking Bad in it.
Yeah, it had Breaking Bad. It had Wanda Maximoff in it.
Yeah.
That was the first.
Was there another one after that?
Yeah.
Oh man.
The King of the Monsters.
Oh, that's right. No, that one was like, oh yeah.
It was hard to watch, but it still had Godzilla in it.
That's true.
And it had a Lannister.
Yeah,
that's true.
They didn't have Charles Dance, did it?
The old one, right?
Yeah,
because that's who's in Sandman. See, we're tying.
Oh yeah.
See?
Oh yeah, it's a thing now. Man, I would love nothing more than a big monster movie that works. But I don't know, man. I hope it's fun. But with those movies, I just want to have fun. Did you see the White House dislike manipulation graph?
No.
You should. It's on there. There's shenanigans occurring.
Oops. Sorry.
Oh no.
Let me fix that out.
Crashed for all time.
No, it's not crashed. I closed the wrong dumb window. You know how it goes.
I know how it goes. No, he was he just downloaded like counts, and there appears to be shenanigans.
I've seen screenshots of YouTube modifying dislikes of White House videos. So they're saying people inside YouTube, or is this like?
I don't know that this article is making anything like that. This is merely a chart of what he perceives as happening. I was meaning to go research more into this because it was interesting.
So the thing is, as YouTube does account like shutdowns for bot accounts and for abuse accounts, it affects then those videos that those people like or dislike.
But there's a lot of information that I don't think they have.
I should read this. This looks really interesting.
Like when are these things occurring and that sort of thing. But he's got scripts, he's got data. that was interesting, and I hope that there's an innocent explanation for it. We have Rob, this week's stand is awesome. I hope you watch it today.
Awesome.
You know the story, so I'm not spoiling it, but the main people get to the place where you expect them to go.
Colorado or Hemingford Home?
Vegas.
Oh, the bad guys.
The good guys get to the bad guy place. But
Wow.
and there's not too much of Trash Man, which
I heard he's not good.
it's hard to watch.
So Franny and I started watching the 1984 Stand.
Oh boy.
No, it's good. It's still good. You know, Rob Lowe is good as Andros. You know, I mean, it's
John
good,
Boy plays Nick, right?
Rob Lowe plays Nick Andros.
John Boy's in it though, I think, right?
I think John Boy is MOON. I'm not sure about that.
When this is done, I'm gonna go and watch the 1984 one. I don't know that I've seen it. I think I have, but maybe it's one of those things where I've just seen enough scenes and screenshots that I think I have.
It's okay for when it came out, and for the fact that it was on TV, right? So
yeah.
You take any Stephen King story and you try to put it in a family friendly 80s version of TV.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be stupid. So
I don't know if you're the one that I heard say this, Rob, but and if so, well done, or if not, somebody else said it and they get all the credit. But it's, you gotta let Stephen King be Stephen King.
Yeah, it's like taking Paul Verhoeven and telling him not to make a rated X movie,
right. or not to have any outside media in his film.
Yeah,
right.
You know, so.
Let's see. WandaVision is tonight. Alan Tudyk's new show. Resident Alien.
Yesterday?
Yeah, I'm watching that this afternoon. That's the thing that Kathleen's looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to
that. We can talk about that next time. And GameStop. The funniest, weirdest story that we are all connected to in the weirdest and dumbest of ways. And I said this on Twitter. But I was trying to map this out. Downstairs in my basement somewhere, I have a framed stock certificate, which I believe is, I have two of them. I have one Andover and one VA. And I think the VA is fake. But I think somebody printed it out and framed it and gave it to me as a gift, as a nice thing.
No, Bates gave it to all of us. Those were real certificates.
One of them is fake and one of them is real.
They became worth nothing after the fact, after the 10-1.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
The split.
Reverse split.
Reverse split, yes.
Because I was trying to figure that out. So it theoretically would have been worth 0.1 share, because I think the Andover share is real. So I think that Andover share would have been whatever the multiplier was to become a VA share, an LNUX, then the multiplier for the reversal of the reverse split, then it became Geek, then it got sold to GameStop, which is
why I have Think Geek over my head and you have GameStop over yours. So.
That's right. I'm at the mall. So, okay.
And why Robert Roseboom has a tornado over his head, because that's what's been going on with this darn stock. So
it's a whirlwind. So it actually spiked up over 425 or something today.
Oh my god! It's at 233 right now,
and then it went back down to like 130 or something. It had like a $200 swing. It was the most traded stock yesterday, and there's all kinds of just crazy ass things happening. The Wall Street Bets subreddit got set to private for a while. The Wall Street Bets Discord got shut down. Man, what else?
So I was there. You know, my wife, I told her that the Discord got shut down. She's like, "Oh, why'd they shut it down?" I was like, "Probably the porn and the racism." And she's like, "What was porn and racism doing in a GameStop discussion Discord?" And I'm like, "Well,
have you
there was a lot of it." Actually, most Discords aren't that bad. They have they've moderated, but it's like, that one was like, wow, there's a lot of porn in this thing. So
okay. The first guy who was posting screenshots is his $50,000 bet is like worth over $13 million or something now. Something
and it
Looney
peaked at like
Tunes.
47 million or whatever.
Yeah, and he posts the screenshots every day, and then you have
deep value,
thousands of Redditors playing along with him. And then the shenanigans are really in place now because Wall Street is locking down like Robinhood, and I guess some of the other traders.
The lawsuits are gonna be breathtaking.
Yeah,
like deep effing value is gonna own Robinhood at the end of it. It's not okay to just decide it's okay to sell but not buy a bunch of shares because the people who are front running all the Robinhood trades are upset. Man, this is no bueno.
Yeah, so. I mean, this is a weird story, and it's one of those things like this is going to be one of those things that may end up like changing something. It's not going to change anything for the better. They'll add new regulations that'll make it worse because, as we all know, the only people allowed to make money are the hedge funds now. Everybody else is allowed 3%. Hedge funds they're the ones that make the real money. They aren't going to allow this. This has been one of the most enjoyable stories for me to Schadenfreude watch all week. But I really wonder what's going to happen out of this because this is, man, I don't even know. You've got
every jackass is commenting on it too.
That's all that's on Twitter. Well, I mean, my comment on that was I don't really understand how Wall Street Bets is any different than Jim Cramer, but
they're not as corrupt.
I mean, I don't know that Jim Cramer is corrupt. I don't know anything about the guy except he's on TV yelling that things are a deal and you should buy them.
Bell?
There's no bell. Yeah, that's the difference.
Yeah.
And move everything over to GME. Move everything off of GME into AMC. BlackBerry. That's the story. You know.
Yeah, it's funny. They moved to AMC to BlackBerry, and there's one other one. Oh, Bed Bath and Beyond. Was that the other one?
Yeah, Bed Bath and Beyond. Like they're trying to find things that have a lot of short positions so they can force the shorts out of business, which is it's just so good.
I've always, so I don't have a finance background, so I'm not qualified to talk about any of these things, but I've always found shorting stocks to be like, that seems just distasteful.
Well, you know, the thing is, it's just like everything in finance, right? It starts from an okay place, and then someone gets a hold of it and says, yeah, but if I short 130% of GameStop's shares, I'll make a fortune. And then someone on Reddit goes, or
not.
Or we'll force you in a position where you cannot literally buy more shares than exist. I mean, this is the housing market.
Oh, for sure.
Combination of mortgages all over again. It's like they're like, hey, if we just take all these crappy houses, put them in the same tranche, and then call it, safest houses, well, we can basically resell this debt and just take a little off the top every time, and then we'll resell that debt, then we'll resell that debt, and it's like, at some point, y'all, you're getting a little greedy, don't you think?
There's a lot of things in the stock market that, like, if you just had the ability to, like, I have a similar problem with a lot of election process. Like, our system likes the two-party system. There are ways to deal with it. You could do stuff to help the electoral college. You could do stuff to, like, stack rank voting. There are all these weird ideas that sort of could mitigate, minimize the problems. The financial system is the same way. But the thing is, there's just like in politics, there's no incentive once you just won an election to fix gerrymandering. You just won the election. Screw gerrymandering, it's fine. And I think the same thing with the stock market. The one that really gets me is the microtransactions and all that. That just doesn't seem.
You mean the high speed
stuff? Yeah. That stuff. That doesn't seem right.
HFTs,
it just seems like we should just all agree that all the stocks should clear at a price once a minute or something. If we just did that. And I know
there is an exchange that does that.
Sure, but you can't do that if one exchange does it. There's too much money flowing through that pipe to turn that off. But it would sure make. But then Think of the liquidity. You know, we got to worship at the altar of capitalism.
No. The thing is, when Andover went public, when VA Linux went public, when Google went public, they all used the, an auction method. And the idea was that people would get as fair a price as possible because that's what everyone's willing to pay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there were some corners that were not perfect in any of the three going public, but like people can opt into a more sane regime, and people have. But the big stocks are all in the NASDAQ, the New York Stock Exchange,
Right.
and the Board of Trades, right? The Chicago Commodities Board or whatever it is. It's like, so I hate to say it, GameStop, AMC, Alipay, Ant Financial, they pick these exchanges because they fit there, right?
Sure.
If they have to go somewhere where they have to have, frankly, a better business model and better balance sheets, they wouldn't be able to go. They can't. I hate to say it. GameStop is not a responsible company. I mean, Steam basically destroyed their business.
Oh, for sure.
The online stores destroyed their business.
Sure.
It is a zombie company.
For sure.
Right?
I mean, it's no different than a company we worked for so many years.
Well, I mean, and the thing is, it's not that for instance, ThinkGeek, they had a fine business selling merch, right? And we know the margins on merch suck. But that's okay, right? It was a fine business selling merch, right? And it's like just putting it into GameStop doesn't suddenly make it into like a 50% profit business. It's just weird.
No, there's just all this stuff just makes me very sad. But it's all about incentives and how we incentivize people, and there's a lot of stuff that basic human nature, being what it is. It ain't gonna go good.
I find it's such a good story though, because
well, it doesn't hurt though that the Wall Street Bets guys are already a pretty damn weird subculture unto themselves without just destroying this whole business and like causing all this stock market shenanigans, maybe bankrupting a hedge fund or two. Like, they're weirdos, man. I like it, but they're weirdos.
They're definitely weirdos. Oh boy. And it's really something. It's just really something. This is definitely, I didn't expect us to have a story like this after the election. I expected it to be like, let's go after big tech and everything. It turns out Wall Street's always there to show what a bunch of jerks they are, So I should have had faith. I should have just had faith.
Yeah.
Robinhood, this is the end of Robinhood. Honestly,
give someone an opportunity to do the wrong thing for their benefit, and they will.
Yep.
Yeah. I cannot believe GameStop. I mean, what's GameStop's option train looking like right now? It's insane.
I imagine everyone is looking at it.
Well, so the thing is, I have an account at Fidelity, and Fidelity is one of the few online brokerages that is still allowing you to trade GME and AMC, right? Because they're not a non-profit brokerage, but they're a very low-cost brokerage, and they don't front run. They just pass the trades into the market, And I think they're their own seat on the exchanges, so they're not going through Citadel. They're not going through these other ones like Robinhood is. So part of the inherent problem of Robinhood is they let someone else do all their trade settling,
right?
And the reason that it's
free
their
business
is because
model.
They're front running. It's like they're letting the HFTs, front run all these trades. And it's like, anyway. So
sure,
look at this stuff.
That's why I only invest in pure grain alcohol, gold bullion, and ammo.
And ammo. Well, you are a Michigander.
Yeah, right.
That's the law there. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a pretty good time to get into honeybees. I mean, there aren't any left anymore.
It's true. Yeah. We are really all going to starve to death in the next decade, aren't we?
Well, the thing is, this does make people think, oh yeah, I guess unless I'm a big fish, I don't matter on Wall Street. I can be preyed upon. Why am I putting my money with these people?
That's the thing that I really wonder. Like, if you had anywhere else to put it, you would. But like it's America. Where else do you put it? You put it in foreign
bonds.
Yeah.
Who do you buy the bonds through? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
T-bills. T-bills, everybody. T-bills.
You better buy tips because inflation is going to be a whole thing too.
Hold on, I'm loading the option chain for GME. I gotta see this. No, don't trade. I ain't
no, don't click the buy button.
Charts. Chart. Okay.
I wonder if I can buy GME. I thought about it just for funsies, but
well, who do you do your brokering through?
I don't own any stock.
Oh,
I just own mutual funds.
You're not even like an index fund?
I just own index funds. I don't think about it anymore.
Yeah, no, index funds is the way to go.
Yeah, I can't.
S&P, baby.
E-Trade will let me theoretically click the buttons. I'm not going to, but what I should have done, though, is I should have taken my Bitcoin, liquidated my Bitcoin, turned it into GME, and then hodled.
Yeah, you could have been the next deep effing value. Wow. This option chain is just wacky. And I don't really understand options very much. I have to be honest with you, but it's like this is all over the place.
This is without precedence, I think, because this sort of thing happens, but at small scales and not like in such dramatic public fashion like this. I mean, this could end up being the stock market event of like the decade. You know, like it could be like a stock market crash.
They're not gonna let it happen twice.
No.
Wow. Yeah. So currently, Jamie's at 243, and it's 247, 244, 245. So like the puts around that range are they're all over. The calls and puts are just all over the place.
This is, I don't know.
This is amazing to watch, though. I ain't touching this with a 10-foot pole.
No, I don't gamble. Like in general, that's not really my jam, except for my Bitcoin. My one Bitcoin, which I don't.
You know, if you put your Bitcoin into GME and it went hodl to the rocket moon.
Oh yeah,
you can make some money.
Oh no, it's not going to the moon. I read the best quote that I read was, "It's going to the edge of the observable universe." I would also like to note, Jake and Elon, Geeks in Space are not financial advisors. We are not qualified. We are not fiduciary.
Well, honestly, there's no expectation of us being their representatives. None of us have passed our system, our Sector 7 test. We're not lawyers. We can say whatever we want, and people can't assume anything.
That's not true. So, we can't say anything that we want anymore. And they had that one person who got nailed for tweeting in 2016 stuff to prevent people from voting, and they just like advanced that case.
Oh, you should put that up on the Zone.
I'll dig it up, but it was a 2016 thing where they tweeted a whole bunch of things about how you shouldn't vote. You can text here to vote was basically what it was.
And do we have any other stories? This is boring.
This is all we have.
Yeah, we can talk.
We are talking, man. What are you doing?
I
don't know.
Pearl.com. First time
nobody mentioned that
Pets.com taken over by demand squatters. I'm like, who cares about Pets.com?
Nobody mentioned that Bernie was in the background of my GameStop.
Oh, you put Bernie in there? Where is he? I don't see him.
He's little. He's sitting in front of the store.
We could talk about the Rolling Stone gig where if you give them $2,000, you might have a chance to get an article.
Yeah, where's the Discord?
Right.
I think that is hilarious. I mean, what a great business model. We should have been doing that at Slashdot.
Right?
We did.
No, we didn't.
Remember intel.slashdot.org?
All right, well, that was not me.
Yes, we did that, but that is different.
It's not different. It's advertorial.
It is different because this is people.
Yeah.
This isn't a company who's trying to get their stuff on your website. This is people who think they want to get into online journalism. And if you send a Rolling Stone $2,000, you get a chance to be part of this group that they might draw your story from and post on the website.
Wait, might?
And,
So there's no guarantee.
Yeah.
Right. And
This
it's
is like
15,
inverse
and
Substack.
once you give them the $2,000, then it's $1,500 a year after that, an
Yeah.
annual fee
Just to
keep you
stay on
into
the board.
club where they might pick whatever you write.
I don't know, man. I just, starting actually in early VA days, we would have, those wacky airplane shows like Bunting's World on Computers and these other, pay for play advertising shows. And it was really common. Like, we'll cover your company if you give us X dollars.
Dude,
Sure.
probably
Probably
once a week, I still get emails from people who are like, I will give you money if you post my article on Slashdot.
And I hate to say it, is this any different than the Who's Who thing, the Who's Who scam? I mean,
yes, it is.
Does Rolling Stone matter more than Who's Who?
I think I wrote for Rolling Stone once, and I don't remember if I got paid or not. But I definitely wrote an album review for them once.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah, and then I got a free subscription, which I
you got paid.
I think I got like a couple $100 or something. But then I got a free subscription that sustained until I moved.
So from what I can remember reading of this article, to be part of their culture council, you send them $500 down payment, and then they look at whatever you send them, they vet it, and then give you a yay or a nay about whether or not you could be part of the culture council, and then you just pay them another $1,500, and you get the opportunity to work with other influencers and visionaries to submit articles basically, and then now there's nothing that I read that said your articles actually get posted, just that these members of the Culture Council will have articles posted on Rolling Stone, and then
on some random URL.
The continuing cost is $1,500 a year.
So what I'm picturing in my mind, do you remember those old CD clubs where you give them $1 and they give you 13 CDs and then a CD every 2 weeks until you cancel or whatever? I think this is that. This is them saying, we want some of that CD money, and you have to, and to cancel your Culture Council membership, you have to write cancel a million times on the postcard and send it back to them.
No, you have to actually get canceled. So you have to post racist stuff on Twitter until somebody notices.
Here's the thing, because that there's some troll who's like, well, I'm joining that council, I'm going to put the most racist crap I can up there.
Of course.
So.
And Rolling Stone is like, it's fine, you already sent us $2,000. We'll drop you. Whatever you have. And I assume they don't have personal access or personal ability to put stuff on the website. The way I envisioned it was basically the Slashdot submissions bin.
Yeah.
You have to pay $2,000 for the privilege of
doing that. This isn't the Slashdot. This is important. This is the Culture Council at Rolling Stone. Right. So if they accept you, then you get your own URL, and it'll be like qshaman.rollingstone.com.
So what you're saying is it's less the submissions bin and more the journal system.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be page widening posts,
I just wondered how many people they get to sign up for it and whether that becomes a viable business model, because magazines are hurting, print is hurting. Maybe this is the new step.
I mean, as a pure vanity play, if you knew for a fact that you could write 1,000 words and get it to appear in an issue of Rolling Stone, that has value to people. I can see that as being fun. I would like to write something and have it appear in a big magazine. Sure.
Absolutely. It just seems a little bit too up in the air, a little bit too wishy-washy from what I read. Perhaps the actual process is not quite like a carnival game like this seems to be to me,
Mostly, I'm just mad that we didn't think of it.
Yeah. For sure.
You did think of it. This is what I'm talking. All right. Let's. Rolling Stone really it has so little validity. I'd like to just not care about it anymore. All right, so this is Roland. Roland is a character in Borderlands who is this super buff, super tough, carrying around a turret, flings the turret, fights the bad guys.
And who's going to play him?
And who's going to play him but the smallest man in Hollywood?
Army Hammer?
So it's like, no, smallest, not hungriest. You know?
Oh.
So
I was trying to come up with a joke, and I haven't figured out. Oh, Kevin Hart, he's adorable.
He is adorable, but he's not Roland.
Wasn't he problematic a few years ago? Didn't he get in trouble for something?
Yeah, he made gay jokes earlier in his career, I think.
Yes, he made gay jokes early in his career, and he was also the subject of a blackmailing scheme from one of his posse who had videotaped his affair while he was on tour.
Oh, that sucks.
That's pretty weak, though, in the grand scheme of cancellations in Hollywood. Yeah.
That's the thing, man. Some of them are weaker than others, Chris.
Yeah. I liked him in Jumanji.
I like him in Jumanji as well.
And the problematic joke was, like all those things, was ridiculous. Was obviously a joke. That's a comedian.
Yep.
Well, and it wasn't even all that disrespectful, unless
it was that he was afraid his son was going to turn up gay, and if he caught him playing with a dollhouse, he was going to break the dollhouse over his son's head.
Yeah, but then, like as he proceeds, he again says, "Because I have to be." That said, if he's gay, that's great because gay guys get so much sex. Dude, this is kind of inappropriate, but okay, So,
but it doesn't matter because someone took offense. So, therefore,
so he goes into timeout for a year.
Yeah, he was gonna host like a Grammy or a Tony or an Oscar.
Yeah, that's right. He was the Oscar host.
They replaced him with nobody.
That's right. That worked out really great. That was a really...
Who cares about the effing Oscars?
Dude, I watched them every year except for the 2 years in a row where I had a power outage.
Don't care. So that year of the power outage, did you really super miss it?
Yes.
Did you feel pangs of regret for...
And it was 2 years in a row, Chris. I've watched every Oscar ceremony for basically my adult life, and then had 2 years in a row where the one night a year where I had a power outage was Oscar night.
So I admire your determination to watch every Oscar-nominated movie. Sure. Right? I think that shows you're a big fan of movies.
The Oscar Death March.
And the Oscar Death March and all. But yeah, and I know we don't watch commercials anymore, so it's not really a thing. But like, I just remember the last Oscars I watched. It was so long ago that you couldn't skip commercials, and like I'm just like, there's a lot of commercials. I'm not sticking around for this.
You just start a half hour late. It's no big deal.
Yeah, that was back when we had
TiVo.
This was before TiVo, dude.
Yeah,
that's how long it's been since I've given a crap about this.
The worst is when the acceptance speeches turned into a mini episode of Inside the Actor Studio. Like, I get that your process is hard and yada yada yada, but enough.
Yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, the difficulties facing your life are not quite as significant as most of the people watching you right now.
Yeah.
All right, folks, let's press the button.
Yeah. Let's press the button.
Go and see you guys on Tuesday.
Go forth and sin.
Yes. That's right. Drive safely. Chris DeBona.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Think geek, everybody.
That's
Think
right.
Geek. Hodl, hodl, hodl.
Hodl. To the edge of the observable universe. Rob, enjoy your exciting, fun, thrilling, surprise, devoid weekend.
Let's hope nothing new happens, shall we?
That's right. Let's hope for good and calm. Good and calm and chill. All right, I'm Rob Commander Taco Maldo. This has been Geeks in Space, episode 572, and I guess we'll see you on Tuesday.